Starting now. Yeah, so we're live. Hello, everyone.
Hello, guys.
We will wait for a couple of more minutes and then we'll start.
So where can I see the, here, gallery. Will I see the other members or no?
No, so we do the stream to YouTube.
Okay.
And then I will see the questions, and then we will be able to answer them at the end of the webinar.
So you are based in Berlin as well?
Yep. I'm based in Berlin, and it's probably majority of people who will be here
Berlin,
today,
right?
but
okay.
Yeah, hi guys, hello everyone. If you're watching us from the Eventbrite page, so better to click and move to YouTube, then you will be able to ask questions. Yeah, so a couple of more minutes and then we start. Yeah, I'll be doing the recording, so after the webinar, everyone will be able to watch it, and yeah, I will share the recording of it.
Great.
Yeah, so yeah, let's start little by little. Hi everyone, thanks for joining us today. I'm Kirill Tufanov, founder of Expat Venture, serial entrepreneur, built a business back in Russia and then sold it to German company. This is how I moved over to Germany and learned about a lot of difficulties expat founders meet here. And then also I've built another project, another startup here in Germany, and then it was recently acquired by another French company. The main idea of this project is a non-for-profit hub for expat founders who already in Germany or plan to move to Germany and want to build a startup venture here. Yeah, we basically doing content. We talking to a lot of great people and successful entrepreneurs who can share their experience, how they built business here and what kind of challenges they meet, and so we can learn from them. And today we have Robert Morgunov. Robert is the CEO of QUARKWERK.
Hey guys.
Yeah, so yeah, basically, Robert, maybe you better introduce yourself and tell a couple of words about what you do.
Yes, so thank you very much for the invitation, Kirill. So I would be happy to share my experiences about my food startup, QUARKWERK. So this is not the presentation of the case or like an exit case, whatever. It is more like the description of the journey, and the journey just began. So we are just in the middle of our second year, and I will share my experiences, which problems we faced, which challenges we had from the beginning. So I started the company from scratch. So I will share every single challenge or trouble, whatever, which we had. I was born in Riga. That was at that time 1977 Soviet Union. Riga belongs to the Baltic states, and then I moved 1998 to Germany and started like regular stuff made my studies of information management, the School of Media in Stuttgart, then moved to Hamburg, and then went like a few stations, beginning from the assistant to managing director and then area manager, focused more on sales. So became the area manager at Mont Blanc in Hamburg, and then developed the distribution for for the Mont Blanc company in the CIS states. There were a few stations in the startups, whatever, but I think it is more interesting for the crowd or for you guys that we definitely start with the current food startup, because this is like an essential experience which is very fresh and which I gathered like in the last 2 years. So I started the company 2019, like almost 2 years ago, and now we are in this stage where we sold 1 million pieces of our food product, which is maybe I will show the product. This is actually our product in different flavors, and this is a Quark bar. If you speak German, so we have also the multi-pack. If you speak German, it's Quarkriegel, made of fresh quark and then covered with different flavors, caramel, chocolate, whatever. So the company I started at 2019, and now we are distributed at around 1,000 POS in Germany. And again, so we sold till now, since the beginning of the company, around 1 million pieces.
Awesome. Yeah, that's already sound really impressive. I remember like from my childhood, the carrot snacks, and of course that was one of my most one of the best like snacks I could have back in the Soviet Union. Yeah, but how did you manage, like why did you decide to take this idea and scale it to Germany? So what was the initial point where you started?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I mean, the idea, as you told, the idea is not completely new, but the way how we are doing at QUARKWERK is actually new and innovative, because we took on one side like the product which again you know from your childhood and I know as well, but we combine it with like several things which are unique. So we take the initial product which consists of the quark, but then we offer it in different flavors. We offer it with different glazes. We offer it in the really high quality of the initial quark mass, and then we combine it with the demand, or let's say with the demand of the food retail market now, which is actually convenience, means that you can eat it on your way to work, whatever. Freshness, because this product needs to be chilled, so it should be kept in the refrigerator, so in the fridge. So it's fresh, it's new, it's innovative in terms of flavors, and it is very attractive in terms of packaging and brand and design. So it's very modern. It's let's say focused on busy urbans and healthy snacker. So these are two our target groups. But coming back to your question, so the idea, actually I had this idea almost, I would say, for more than 10 years, whatever, but there was not like the perfect timing for the execution. So I mean, you need for the execution time and money, and also your willingness, for sure. But then all these three factors came together, and then I decided to do it from scratch.
Cool. And like you mentioned three factors, and I believe like many people, especially who are not from Germany, they have some kind of authentic food in mind, which could be scaled into Germany, and there's definitely like some snacks which are not yet sold here in Germany and can be maybe attractive to the local market. So do you think this like three factors can be like applied on all these ideas, and that or can you maybe advise some like what what should be the other factors which can be actually applied on other products, not just yeah, your kind of snacks.
Absolutely, I agree with you that I mean, this is one way how you can launch new products in Germany. So you take like the success stories from other markets, you adapt it, and then you launch it in the local market. This is actually one of the good strategies, I think, because you don't need the proof of concept for this product, because you know if it works in one country, the probability is high that it would work in another country. Definitely there are no-goes, but for several products, it's a good idea. But coming back to the factors, basically the 4 main factors are, I mean, to be successful on the food market, I think almost for every product, the 4 factors are product, distribution, price, and brand. So if you are able to combine all these factors, and I can actually describe in more detail every of the factors, then you will understand what is meant. So if you take product, or in this case, if we take product, it means the product should correspond to the current demand. So the people are willing to buy it because of the quality. So it should be a high quality product. In our case, it's definitely the high quality premium product. It should be adapted to the market. It means for example, if you launch a product with different flavors, definitely you need to know that let's say 3 most demanded flavors in Germany are strawberry, vanilla, and choco, and then you will not make a mistake if you will do these flavors. So again, coming back, product is extremely important. Product in terms of quality, in terms of flavors, in terms of price is extremely important, because then if you prepare a product, you can make a great product with a great quality. But if your pricing is wrong, you will fail, definitely, because the retail partners will not allow you to take this part of niche in the segment which doesn't correspond to the appropriate price for this product. So again, product. Then we have brand, which is extremely important, because product itself cannot perform. Because if you go to any like Rewe or Edeka market, you will see. I mean, I made this experiment. So you just go into the market and you just switch off your intention to buy something, and you're just walking around. So there is no anything in Germany what is not in the market. So the offer is extremely high. So it means if you want to differentiate your product, you need a brand, or like a strong brand with a very clear message. So in my case, the brand QUARKWERK has a message in the branding, and the message is it's a new and modern dairy brand. So what does it mean, new and modern? New means we have new innovative products. Modern means we are targeting the busy urbans and the healthy snacker, which most probably will not buy traditional dairy products like, I don't know, Weihenstephan or Landliebe, because they are very much focused on the traditional parts of the dairy brands. So coming back, brand, product, product price, and distribution. Distribution, to be honest, this is the most complicated part, and this is the key. So the key is not the product, the key is not the brand, the key is the distribution.
Before we move to the key part, let's say, I have a question about the product and about the validation of the product, because I mean, with a digital product, it's I think much easier to validate that that you have the demand. You just release the simple like landing page and then like put some leads on it. So how do you validate the food startup in Germany, and how did you do it for yourself, and like what would you advise to other entrepreneurs?
So that, I mean, very good question, because there are two ways to validate. One way is, I think I would say 90% of the food startups in Germany are going this way. And this is not my case. So the regular validation way is actually to make a small batch, let's say to develop the product itself, to make a small batch product in the production, and then with this prototype to try to test, to acquire new customers, to make, let's say, testings in a crowd of 100 people, whatever, and to collect the feedback. This is the first case, which is good, but which is not about QUARKWERK, because I decided to go, let's say, to go full house. Because all in, yeah, exactly, all in. Why? Because the difference is, if you do something in a small batch, it means you don't have a mass market production, you don't have the scalable production yet. You are trying, you are testing, and then you grow step by step, and then maybe after 1 year or 2 years, 3 years, then you decide to build a production, or to find a production for you. So this is like the step, maybe it's step 10, whatever. So I decided to go another way because, first of all, I didn't, so I was not in the position where I need the proof of concept, because I knew exactly this product will be, I mean, this product is sold, for example, or not exactly this product, but this kind of products are sold in Eastern Europe in millions. So millions mean thousands. I mean, in Russia alone, it's 1 billion per year. 1 billion pieces. There are almost, I think, 38 different brands which are fighting each other on the market of quark bars. I think, Kirill, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So it's not exactly the same product, but it is like a proof of concept that this kind of product is not something which is, wow, I've never seen it before. Nobody know this product, and this is something completely new. No. So that's why I decided to go another way. So I didn't do any, let's say, proof of concepts with testing groups, whatever. So I decided to focus my efforts on the product itself, on the quality, on the flavors, on the brand, and then directly to find the production. So my first production batch was 7,000 pieces. So not just 1 or 2 or 3. So I actually rented a space in the bakery here in the neighborhood, and then put there a big fridge, industrial fridge. And then one day I received the truck with 1 pallet of my quark bars. Then I stored them in this fridge. So I did before some work to acquire, let's say, retail partners which were ready to test the product. And so what I did with this first batch, I sent to the retail partners the samples to test, but already not as a prototype, but as a ready to market product. So, and this is like 2 different ways. So you can go both ways, but the second way, which I've chosen, is more risky, definitely, because you have to be sure that the product is market fit, that the product is ready to market, that it is a, let's say, appropriate pricing, that you have the right quality, the right brand, whatever. So you can choose both of these ways, but again, the second one is more risky.
So it means that, but as you said, you already found the customers before you actually delivered the products, or you did it in...
No, I found not the customers. I found the retail partners which were ready to test. This is the big difference, because I mean, there are some retail partners where I started negotiations in this way, that they are ready to test 1.5 years ago, and we are still negotiating.
Yeah.
So it's a very old school industry. So it takes you, with some retail partners, it takes you months. With some, it takes you years to come to any conclusion. So it means, so it was also all in, because I decided, okay, I believe in my product. I think this is really great quality, great pricing, great brand. So I just send the samples to them with previous announcement, and then I receive feedback. So what I did is actually, from this first batch, I sent samples most probably to, let's say, 20 or 25 retail partners, both convenience, but also just supermarket chains, whatever. But with the second part, I did another test. And this test was actually also very important for me, because the other idea was not to go to the food retail, but to go to the convenience. It means to supply the coffee shops, the cafes, the Einsteins, the Starbucks, whatever, but the small ones in the city. That was my second, let's say, second way to distribute. And then actually what I did, I asked this guy, this bakery owner, if I can drive with him, because he was like making the cheesecakes, whatever, and supplying all these coffee shops, whatever, in Berlin. Like, I think he had all around 100 or 150 customers. So I asked that if I can drive with him with his supply truck. So he was delivering or supplying his cheesecakes, and I was offering to the same guys in cafes or fast gastronomy points of sale. I offered my quark bars. So I gave them for free one box, just to see if there is an interest in this convenience, let's say, distribution channel. And that was actually my first steps in the building of the distribution.
Cool. Before we move to the distribution part, you also mentioned like the pricing is a very important topic, which actually can kill your startup. So how did you decide the right pricing strategy?
I mean, the right pricing strategy definitely depends on your cost of goods. I mean, you have on one side the cost of goods, then you make like a reasonable calculation which allow you to be, let's say, profitable, DB1 profitable. And then you see how much space you have, or let's say how much reserve you have, and how deep you can go downside. On the other side, definitely on top, there are no any limitation. Yeah, I can say, okay, it will cost €2, but on the other side, you have to compare your product first of all with the comparable products in this group of products, but not necessarily with exactly the same products, because in my case, I didn't have exactly the same products, except I think there is one similar product which is distributed in Lidl with their own brand. So it costs, I think, around 50 cents, whatever. So I compared with the existing products in the product category, but also took a decision to speak with the retail partners and to hear what they say. I mean, definitely, in the most cases, they will say that it is too expensive and nobody will buy it. But I mean, on some point, you have also to insist on certain level of pricing. And actually, I found that that the retail price for this product, 69 cent in the shop, is exactly the right one, because on one side it is under €1, so it is accessible, it is fresh, it is high quality product, it is attractive, it is one piece, to eat immediately, or to keep it in the fridge and to eat it 2 days later. But it's not the big investment to try 69 cent. I mean, definitely I could say, okay, it would cost €2, but in this case, most probably it will fail. Yeah, because you have to find this balance between your cost of goods plus costs on one side. On the other side, you have to analyze the market and to see your positioning according to the quality, according to the brand, according to the product itself, and then to try.
Great. So, yeah, and yeah, maybe that would be the right moment to move to the distribution, and like, because I would start from understanding how you managed to find these first retailers who are willing to test your product, and then like how you approach the bigger guys like chains.
Okay, so I mean, I will tell you on the example. So this was actually the very first product. Maybe it is also an important part in my case. I think it could work also in some other cases for similar products. So I started with the first product, which is, you can see it here, which is bio certified. So it means this is the higher price product, which costs in the retail 99 cents. So it means this was the very first product, and I started exactly with this. And this was the purpose. I will tell you why. Because I knew from the experience from my previous jobs, whatever. I had also some contacts to some guys which are developing products in the food industry. So what I realized that the regular retail chains are much more complicated to enter as the bio trade, because it's a smaller piece of cake. You have just 3 big players in Germany with Dance Bio Company and Alnatura, and it is easier to enter the market with a bio certified product on the trade side, but it's also easier to enter this market from the customer perspective, because currently people are like take care of their health, and they look that the product has no flavors or has no artificial flavorings, has no I mean some stuff which is not healthy, whatever. So I started with this product, and then basically the very first customer which I acquired was the LPG bio organic shops. There are 10 shops in Berlin, and again it was from the same first batch. So I had some discussions with them. They like the design, the product. Then I sent the samples to them, and they tried, and they gave me immediate feedback that okay, we want to try in January. So it was I think October, something like that. And then they said, okay, we try in January with the first batch. We make like in-out action. So you just place once your product in this multi-pack, and then we'll see if the product will perform good. It means if your rotation of the product is good, then we will come to step 2, and then we will negotiate with you maybe a test listing. And after the test listing, we will decide whether we will put you in the into the shelves for the longer period of time. So that was the way. Send samples, received feedback, made the first in-out action. It was good. again, to be honest, for the first in-out action, I packed these single pieces myself because I received from the factory the single pieces and the packaging, because it was not possible at that stage to make the small batch of this already filled packaging. So I packed this 500 pieces myself, and then took the truck and brought the stuff to LPG markets. Yeah, just to one market, not to every single, but to one market, and they distributed it between the 10 markets. And exactly the same was with the bio company. Exactly the same was with Dance. And actually, all three of them, LPG, bio company, and Dance, from the beginning, as they launched the product in their shelves, in the markets, the product is still there. So it means this is like to be honest, it's a lucky case, because it can happen different way. It can happen also the way that the product, the rotation of the product is not good, and this is the key. If the rotation is not good, they will not keep you in the shelves, because the shelves are quite expensive.
Sure. Yeah. And but how did you find, like, how did you find their contacts? Yeah, you just checked their websites and like for some contacts, or how did you manage?
I can tell you exactly. So the LPG, I just knew that the 10 shops are existing in Berlin. I found, I think on the web page, exactly on the web page, I found the name of the buyer. Then I asked who is responsible for the chilled convenience or for the dairy products, and then I found this lady and asked her directly whether I can bring the samples. And to LPG, I brought the samples actually in person, had a small talk with her, and then after that, she decided to make the first in-out action. With the bio company, it was a bit different way. So I sent, I think, with a small pre-announcement, I sent the samples to the managing director of the beer company, which is, to be honest, this was also like a lucky punch, yeah, because if you send like to managing director of Rewe or Edeka, most probably it will land in the rubbish, right? But in this case, in the beer company, I was lucky that he received the sample in person. He was very impressed by the product, the managing director of the beer company, and then he gave me the contact of the buyer. So this is also important. He didn't tell me that, oh great, we take the product. No, that is not his competence, because he is the managing director. So he forwarded the inquiry to the buyer of the category, and just made like an advice.
An intro, yeah.
Exactly, advice that I mean, he likes the product. That's it. And then we discussed with this lady how we can proceed, and exactly the same way. And with the dance, it was a bit different way. So I had so I was lucky that I had the very good designer of the packaging, because I worked very close with one lady who is designing the products, and she provided me with the contact of the dance, because they made some shootings for them. So it's all the time, I think it's a mix between, let's say, very opportunistic stuff where you just go and try, and also trying to activate some contacts and to try out who knows whom where. So that's the way. And only after the bio trade was entered, it was possible to start first negotiations with the bigger chains like Rewe, Edeka, whatever. Because otherwise, they will block from the beginning, because then they will ask, okay, you are QUARKWERK, but who knows you, where you are listed? And if you cannot tell that you are listed at least in 1, 2, 3 chains or shops, most probably they will say, okay, that's it.
Yeah, and and how did you manage your production? Is it still the same in the same bakery you rented a year ago, or?
No. So the production, in my case, again, as I told you, it was not the case of making the small batches and then trying. So in my case, was more to find the right production, which is able to deliver the required quality and the required flavors. You will ask who defined the required quality and the flavors. I defined them. So the precondition was, okay, who can produce for me this quality with these flavors on that price? And then I started, like, I had on my radar around 6 factories. I visited 4 of them. And after that, I made a decision to produce to produce the first product, one of the factories. In the meantime, I changed the factory already, because the first product was this bio product, and they were not able to produce the required flavors and quality in the other range. So I changed in the meantime the production. But I think it is very important to understand that in my case, where position the product as a mass market product, you need the production which is able to scale up very fast. So it means currently we are using around 4 or 5% of the capacity, but it is very important that you have this 95% on top, because otherwise you will face bigger problems. For example, we had like a bigger action with Aldi Nord, like a couple of weeks ago. It was a bigger quantity, like around 140,000 pieces. It means if you have then the production which is not able to scale up, then you have a problem also here, and you will never get like contracts with the bigger guys, because they will say, okay, but can you deliver 140,000 pieces, or can you deliver 300,000 pieces? And then you need to have this production in the background. So if you choose a production, I think it's also quite important to think about the future and how scalable the production is.
And there is already a bunch of questions. One of from Anna, and she's asking, how actually did you find the manufacturer company?
To be honest, it's research. So after the first concept was on the paper, so I knew exactly what I'm doing, what is the product, what are the flavors. Then I made a research, which factories are producing this kind of products or similar products. Because in my case, there were productions which are, let's say, dairy factories, yeah. But I knew, okay, it's a dairy factory. It means they produce at least quark, or they produce in Russian tvarog. So they produce this kind of I don't know how it is in English.
Curd.
Curd, exactly. Yeah, exactly. They produce curd. So I looked in this direction, and then made first contacts via email, phone, whatever. Then just specified my requirements. If it was like more or less okay, yes, we can do it. Then we negotiated that I will come over. So I went to the factory, visited them, and then in this very personal discussions in the factory, you can really find out, okay, this is the right one, or these guys are just I will never be long-term partners. So this is really, it requires your personal involvement, definitely.
Yeah. So there is Olga asked, telling that QUARKWERK is super yummy and asking if you're going to release a vegan version.
Oh, good question. Good question. Thank you very much for the compliments, but I will disappoint you. We will definitely not go into the direction of the vegan products. I will tell you why. On one side, maybe you realized we have a cow on our logo, so the customers will not trust us if they see a cow on the logo and the product is made of coconut milk, whatever. But to be honest, no, this is not the main reason. The main reason is this is the mass market product, which is made, let's say, on a traditional way of producing dairy products. And what we don't want, or what I don't want, is to go into this hype niche which is currently happening on the market, where everybody's tried to get in with several brands beginning with Oatly, whatever. So this is not my intention to be in this niche of vegan product. My intention is to be in the bigger part of the cake, in the mass market part. And actually the goal is, with this product or with this range of products, to replace the Milchschnitte.
Cool. Sergey says that you look damn fit and ask you how much time it actually got from the first LinkedIn message to the product placement.
To the product placement in the trade.
Probably in the chain, yeah, as I understand, right?
I can tell you exactly. So the idea where I put everything on paper was around April 2018. Then I made some research. So at that time, no company was founded. I was working for another company as an employee, but I made some research on the factory side. I made some research on the market size, some research on the brand size, whatever. So you're just doing this after your work. But from the foundation of the company, 2019 in July. So the foundation was July, and with this preparation work, the first batch was produced in October, and the first listing was from the February of 2020. So it means around 6 months from the foundation of the company till the first listing. But again, the requirement is that you do some work before, some analytic work, some research work, putting everything on paper and preparing the concept. Also, one important thing is also the validation of the concept, not of the product, but of the business case, is also important, because I made it already 2018. So what did I do? I prepared the business plan already 2018, and then I tried also to ask for an advice, or actually to apply for the state programs, because in Germany you have plenty of programs which support you as a startup. So I did everything without any prototype or without any product. I did it just with a concept on paper, with a business plan, and then tried to convince people and to see their reaction. What do they think about the business model? And actually, again, I was lucky so that I received, actually already 2018, I received from the Investitionsbank Berlin, I received a grant. So they told me, okay, the product is great, it's innovative, we give you money, do it. And then I had already some money, but I waited for the right let's say, preconditions that I have also time. So you have to do it full time. I have some money which I have to invest myself. And then I took also this part of Investitionsmarkt Berlin, put it everything together so that I had the first money to do it.
Was it the Gründerbonus? Which
Gründerbonus,
IBB
exactly.
gives? Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
You need to. Yeah, you need to have the some money as well in parallel. So it's not just they give you money. So
I mean, in order to get the Gründerbonus, it is all the time 50%. So if you want to get from them 50K, this is the maximum which I receive. So you have to show that you have another 50K.
Yeah, and yeah, it's actually a good time to ask you. So, have you raised any other investments after that, or are you planning to? So, what's your investment strategy?
Yeah. So again, if you start, the most dangerous, or let's say the most risky phase is actually from the start till most probably till the prototype, or till you till you generate some cash, because in this gap can happen the most shitty things. In my case, it was again. So I received the funds from the EBB. So then I collected another part myself, 50K. So I had 100K at the beginning, and that was my funding to start the company. Don't underestimate the costs for the design, for the packaging, for the let's say stuff which is like you don't think about, but everything costs money. So that's why I think the 100K was exactly the right funding. And then what happened? Actually, I was not on the track like to find any seed investor, whatever. It was more or less again somehow a lucky punch. So this guy, the managing director of the beer company, sometime later in autumn 2019, so he called me and he told me that he wants to invest. And this actually, I mean, not just as a private person, because he has a holistic capital company, and this company invests into the food companies, and that was actually the first proposal which I accepted, because I thought it was good, let's say, from strategy point of view, but also it's a fit because there is somebody who is very experienced in the retail world. So so he was the seed investor, let's say, and that was the first bigger investment. And the second one happened actually recently, just I think 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago.
Congratulations!
We successfully made our crowdfunding campaign on SeedMatch. So I think the current state, we gathered something like 210K by the valuation of 3 million pre-money. So it means this is actually also a good opportunity to scale, but I did it not just because of money. So in terms of funding, actually I was able to proceed without any further rounds, having also some cash. But in this case, I decided to do this, let's say, second campaign, or let's say second funding round, because of two other things which SeedMatch is giving you. First of all, SeedMatch gives you the crowd, which is also pushing your product, and also SeedMatch has a quite big audience. So on one side, you have very good side marketing effects, which influence also your distribution and how the product is sold. And the second aspect was crowdfunding is a very good source to validate your valuation, because if you have a startup or you founded some company, there will be almost every time, if you have some interest from the investors, there will be a discussion. Yeah, but what is the valuation and why your company costs now 1 million or 2 millions, whatever they will. And for the time being, if you're not generating cash like a traditional business, there is no any physical valuation where you can say, okay, this is the multiple to revenue, this is the multiple to profit, whatever. So in this case, the crowdfunding is a very good source to validate your valuation, because if the crowd invests to this valuation, according to this valuation, then the company costs if the crowd says no way, then the valuation is too high. So that's why if you would like to do the crowdfunding, I would advise to do it only if you need the marketing effects. It means that your product is in the B2C area and not in the B2B. And B, if you need that like independent valuation. Otherwise, it's a very expensive money, I would tell you.
Mm-hmm. Great. And so would you suggest any other ways to raise money? Or, for example, I know there are some food startup accelerators in Germany, like Edeka is doing a food startup accelerator. Then some other, I think even Lidl. So would you advise to go this way, or on which stage?
To be honest, I think on the topic of fundraising, you are most probably more experienced as me. But I mean, from my side, and especially for food startups, I can tell you that on the seed stage, really seed means on the phase of prototype or even before prototype, it makes sense to participate in accelerator programs of Kitchen Town, for example, because Kitchen Town is a let's say is a bigger company and there is a Bison group behind. So it means there are strong industry guys behind, and the conditions were quite okay. There are also some other accelerators which are good in this let's say prototype pre-product phase. But if you have also some traction, if you have your product already on the shelf somewhere, whatever, so you can show the proof of concept, I would never go to the accelerators. In this case, I would most probably look for the seed investor as a let's say very specialized guys, for example, like Holistic Capital, whatever, which is specializing on the food startups, and they are not like they don't have any, let's say, bigger money behind, but they are focusing on the food industry.
There is a question from Pavel about the ads for your product. I would maybe put it a bit wider. So what kind of channels you use for sales and for marketing, and how do you plan to scale it further?
So the question was the channels for marketing.
Yeah.
Right?
So yeah. I mean, the question was specifically about ads, offline or online, but I would maybe rephrase it as: so what are the channels you use? What is the most effective channels you use for scaling? Mm-hmm. And are you planning to stay with them, or you want to change them? And yeah.
To be honest, it's a specific product. I will tell you why, and why we are not, or I'm not like doing any massive online campaigns, because there is again a limitation. So the limitation of this product is the challenge and the biggest advantage in the same time. So the product should be in the fridge. It means and the product another aspect that the product is in a low price segment. It means, I mean, if the product costs 69 cents, it's a low price, even if it is a premium product, but it's in the low price area. What does it mean? It means that the B2C direct sales channel via own online shop, whatever, is taboo. So it cannot be done on a reasonable costs, because you have to pay for the cooling elements, you have to pay for the isolation box, for the delivery service. So it is impossible to make it direct to consumer distribution. So it means, on the other side, that I will not spend, or I will never spend big money on the online marketing channels, because it is there's no sense behind. So what we are doing is POS marketing. What is important, because the decision in the food industry is very often taken in the POS. So you have to have the very attractive packaging. You have to have some signs. You have to have maybe some promotion. So it is more focused on what it is focused on the channels which can be activated at the POS. What we will do is definitely more brand campaigns, because it is extremely important to invest into the brand, so that the people recognize your brand in the shelves, and they know, okay, I've seen it on the YouTube, this let's say TV spot of QUARKWERK, the new brand, the new dairy brand. Oh, this is the product of them. So the investment into the branding will be most probably via YouTube and TV channels, very old-fashioned TV, okay, but it works for the consumer brands, and in our special case, it works for this specific group of products, chilled convenience.
We still have actually a lot of questions, but I would maybe ask you about the last quite important part I had about about your like work-life balance and how you manage stress, and because mental health is a very important topic and it's a very trendy topic now. And I'm as a founder now that sometimes, I mean, it might be very stressful. I'm periodically having panic attacks during the night. And so how do you manage this? And so how's your like day look like at night?
Yeah, absolutely. Very good question. So, I mean, I think one of the most important things to avoid, I mean, if you are like entrepreneur and you are doing this on your own risk, you have to be prepared that this is really a risky stuff, and you can lose, first of all, your time which you invested. And this is most probably opportunistic opportunity costs, because in this time you can earn some money as an employee, and you have to be ready to lose also your money, because you invest your own money as well. So if you are ready, and if you know exactly that you are ready to go this step, then this will automatically avoid your level of stress. Because if you are prepared that it can happen, it's completely different as it happens sometimes, and you are completely unprepared, and you are all the time thinking, oh, what will happen if this and this. If you are ready, then it's okay. So that reduces your level of stress. But coming back to the first part of the question, so to be honest, I mean, I try to balance the let's say the stuff which I do in the first part of the day and in the second part of the day, but it's very individual. So for me, for example, works very well. I work very good in the morning, so I can start at 5:30 to start working, and then I end my working day at 3 o'clock p.m. It means after 3 o'clock p.m. till 9, I have 6 hours where I can spend like going to the park, going jogging, or to spend time with my daughters, whatever. So I think it is important, like, to make it, it doesn't make any sense if I wake up at 6 and I sit like 12 hours or 14 hours or 15 hours, then I will be dead next day. So it means to organize your day, to see what you can do, or what is your rhythms. So whether you work better in the morning or in the evening, and then to try to give this like free free islands of time for you, so that you can go jogging, whatever. And actually, what is also important, because from the beginning till March, let's say till March 2021, so just 4 weeks ago, I was completely alone. So it means the whole company was just me. And in this case, you have definitely, I mean, to make some restrictions, what you do and what you don't do, even if everything will be broken, whatever. But if you are broken, then the startup is it's the end of the story.
Yeah, definitely. Yes, very interesting answer. And I think this is like the official part should be over now. And there are still some questions, and maybe let's go through the questions and
Absolutely.
Answer them. So one of the question is how much margin you think is reasonable for your product? And maybe I would also add, so what is the percentage, like how you split your price? So how the price of your product, cost of your products are split between different parts?
Mm-hmm. I mean, in the food industry, this is my advice. You have to have your cost of goods, and then you have to double. It means 100% brutto margin. You have to have it, because in this 100% of brutto margin, there will be definitely quite a few variable costs, but also quite a few fixed costs. So if you then come into the contribution, then you will most probably land at around 20% contribution, which is okay. So if you are less than 100% brutto margin, there will be tricky.
Mm-hmm. And how do you deal with the bulk orders and large retail chains? So how much space do you have to play with discounts, etc.? Because probably the large chains, they want as less price as possible.
Yeah, I mean, this is very important. There's a sound. This is quite important question, but also in negotiations with the chains. On one side, you have the recommended retail price, and this is very important to fix it, because this is like all the chains, they count from the recommended retail price their margin. So in the meantime, if you work like for a couple of years on the market, you know which margin the retail partners in this product category wants. So you know roughly. So for example, in this case, the chilled convenience or dairy products, so you have to give them at least 30%. So it means you have on the downside, you have your calculation, then you recommend the retail sale price based on these two factors. You have your cost of goods, and you have the margin of the retailer. So if you go into the negotiations, you are prepared and you know exactly. So there is a small corridor, but you try to stay in this corridor. Actually, there were, in my case, there were some guys, they told me, okay, this is nice that you have this recommended price, but we want to sell for, let's say, 10 cents less or whatever. In some cases, I said no. It will not work because you will make my product, the product will be damaged. If you try to discount it, then the other retailers will immediately contact you and say, huh, why you are selling at, I don't know, a discounter X for 10 cents less. But that is not you selling, they are selling. But if you give them more margin, then they will definitely do it. So it is a very tricky thing. If you want to keep your product for a longer time on the market, sometimes you have to say no.
Mm-hmm. And also Nikita is asking about the white label products. You also mentioned that with Aldi, right? You have launched the like white label. Can you elaborate? How does it work?
No. At Aldi we had our branded product, so the QUARKWERK bars, and actually we are focusing only on our own brands, on our own brand. It means I wouldn't like to make any private label for any retail chain. Why? Because the capitalization of my brand is then zero. And why I'm trying all the efforts for marketing, spending money in TV spot, just because somebody wants to produce the same product in their packaging. No, from my point of view, this is a no-go for me because you will lose everything. You will lose one day also the sales, and you will lose your brand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Especially when you invest so much energy and time into your brand.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Anna is asking to elaborate a bit more about how did you find the production for your product. So basically, did you Google it, or are there any services which can find it, which we can help you with finding?
I mean, Google, and also, I mean, if you, for example, let's say an example, if you are looking for the production for the nuts or whatever, yeah, then you just go to the market. you look for the shelf with the nuts, and you see all the producers which you have in Germany for the nuts. If you want something specific, you go to Italy and look for the same shelf, and then you have a different producer range for the nuts, and then you contact them and say, okay, can you produce for me like a bar with this particular ingredients, or can you produce for me salted peanuts, whatever.
Yeah. Great. Sergey is asking.
So it was not different in my case. Absolutely. So it was not like a book with all the dairy producers. I was just looking who can do it.
Mm-hmm. Great. Sergey is asking if you are going to replace protein shakes or move into the fitness direction anyhow.
What he means under replace?
Like, I think the main question that if you're going to move into more like a fitness direction and probably like a healthy food, etc., like a diet.
Okay, I mean, to be honest, this is healthy food, guys, because healthy food is not with zero fat, zero sugar, and zero whatever. Nothing. So if it is 000, it's water. So this is a healthy product, and why it is healthy? Because it is balanced. So you have a balanced part of fat, you have a balanced part of proteins, and you have a balanced part of sugar, and that makes it really balanced and good for the guys who are taking care of their health, because the piece is very small, and if it is balanced and small, your body will fully convert it into the energy. So there's no any case. But we are currently preparing one new flavor, which will be called Sport Proteinquelle. It means this particular bar will be, or will have, a bit more protein. It will be around 12.7 gram protein. It will have less sugar, around 18 gram instead of 25 as in the bars. And this particular bar we will position as a sport, as a Proteinquelle, which will more or less fit into this line, more sporty people. And coming back to the question, we are developing actually, so we will not stay only with the Quark bars. As I told at the beginning, so this is the new modern dairy brand QUARKWERK. It means the second product group will come. Most probably, it will be the product group of kefir with different flavors, also in different combinations. And sometimes maybe we will make also some protein shakes. I don't know, but it will be in any case. I mean, we will make other product groups, but they will be all in a way traditional. So it will be never something vegan shake, whatever. So it will stick to the cow on the on the brand.
Great. Couple of more comments. Robert, you are not alone, even as a solo entrepreneur. Keep your courage. You are doing great things.
Thank you.
Thank you, Robert. Very inspirational story. And
Thanks.
I want to add to this that was very interesting, very insightful talk. You definitely shared a lot of great details, I think, which will help definitely the starting entrepreneurs and ones who are already doing the business for a while. Yeah, I want to thank you for joining us today. You, Robert, of course, for talking to me and to all of our attendees. Guys, please like us at LinkedIn and subscribe us at YouTube. We are a not-for-profit project and we really need your support here. Please share our content and invite your friends, and that is how we will success together as expat entrepreneurs. Thank you, everyone, and have a good evening. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much for your time, guys. Thanks.
So I've ended the streaming now.